The compost feeds a ready supply of saplings for reforestation.
What do people from the community think about your nursery project and the planting of trees around watercourses?
People are pleased that we plant trees. Otherwise the springs can dry up.
The youth group at El Cedro is taking the responsibility for protecting the community from disasters. Roberto too feels he's benefited personally from being a member of the group.
When I first joined the group I was very shy, scared of speaking in front of others. But then little by little I came to lose that shyness. It's been very good for me to feel more confident and to open up to the group.
In the forest community of La Montonona, the young people are dealing with another threat to the hillsides: fire. Every spring, farmers use fires to clear thousands of hectares of forest and scrubland for agricultural use. These fires can sometimes rage out of control.
What we are going to do is a drill, a fire drill. We are going to do this so that people can practice what to do in a fire and learn how to stop fires from reaching the mountain.
In a real fire, the children and young people would stay on the periphery, but they still have a role to play in cutting back the grass and clearing away dry leaves, anything that might cause the fire to spread. Children also help the men to load the water to fight the fire. 500 hectares was given to the community by the government on condition they don't allow burning on the land. The children have learnt that protecting the environment means protecting their own lives.
La opción de enseñarle a los niños cómo plantar árboles, cómo cuidar los árboles.
The idea of teaching children how to save trees, how to look after them, how to make nurseries and how to teach others to save more trees is a very good idea. Because we children and teenagers, we are able to learn very quickly.
In part 2, we see how the youth of one town is trying to prevent dengue fever, and how in another, school children are teaching their parents about hygiene. No one knows when a tectonic movement in the Pacific Rim will cause another earthquake in El Salvador, or even how severe the next hurricane will be. But throughout the country, groups of young people are working to reduce the risks from these and other natural hazards. Monica is now 18. She began working with other young people in disaster prevention after the earthquake in 2001 shattered her village of Las Granadillas.
The Committee for Disasters was started after the earthquake. They started to train the young people, so we had about 20 youngsters, children and teenagers, between 12, 13, up to 17 years old.
Monica has come to the town of Potonico to meet another group of young people who are working on the threat of insect-borne disease. Sometimes fatal, dengue fever causes high temperature, joint pains and vomiting. It's spread by mosquitoes, which lay their eggs in pools of stagnant water. Discarded rubbish and other forms of pollution create the ideal conditions for them to breed. Prevention, by draining areas of standing water, is the best approach. And the children in affected areas are taking the message home.
In El Salvador, there are lots of people who aren't aware they need to keep their houses clean. A lot of useless things are left lying around. These can easily become a breeding place for mosquitoes.
6 years ago, the authorities started a campaign to defeat the mosquito. Pupils from the local school, accompanied by a health worker, visit households every month to explain the dangers caused by dumping rubbish and allowing stagnant water to collect as a breeding ground for mosquitoes. The children then help clean up. 18-year-old Mauricio is one of the pupils who regularly takes part.
What are the things that you find in these campaigns?
We find things like coconuts, broken glass bottles, plastic bottles, wooden boxes that are disused, or other containers that people leave around that eventually get filled with water. And that's where the mosquitoes come and lay their eggs.
The children inspect the rubbish before it's thrown away. Mosquito larvae turn up in the most unlikely of places. In this old shoe, they found a mosquito larva, which in a couple of days would become a fully formed mosquito, a possible carrier of dengue fever. Plant pots too are possible breeding grounds. Once again, they found a larva in water that's been allowed to accumulate in the plant stand. Even the water in the hen coops has to be inspected. It's another potential source of mosquitoes. If the water cannot be drained out, an alternative has to be found.
What we usually do is to empty the water out and treat it with soap.
Whenever larvae are found, the health inspector makes a note and explains why the homeowner needs to keep the yard clean and rubbish-free. Dengue fever can be fatal, especially to young children. During the hurricane season, the heavy rains and floods create the ideal conditions for epidemics.
We like to see our community clean, and we don't want anyone in our community to die from dengue fever. It would be very sad.